by stating that it is not enough for us to pride ourselves in the credentials we tout. It is not even enough, and this has been a burning desire on the heart of Right Honorable Speaker as we engage on a daily basis, for us to pride ourselves that yes, we were adjudged yesterday as the most open parliament. It's not enough for us to pride ourselves in that. It's not enough for legislators to pride themselves in the fact that, yes, they examine provisions of bills critically and ensure that legislations that are passed are well intended for the delivery of the goods and services we need. We should be concerned much more about the extent to which the public goods and services for which Ghanaians gave you as legislators their trust, how you are exercising that mandate towards those expected benefits, the delivery of those benefits. I think that is the heart of the matter. And that is why this program is very important, because it provides you another opportunity for members of parliament to take it a step further, strengthen the systems and the processes and the procedures, and ensure that indeed Ghanaians are experiencing the dividends of democracy. After all, democracy and good governance, it's about human development. If it's not about that, then it's about nothing. And so, on this occasion, I believe that we should embrace this initiative wholly and run with it. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you for taking time off your busy schedules to be part of what is undoubtedly an important step forward in a democratic and developmental journey. I thank you.
All right, thank you very much, the Clerk to Parliament. We thank you for those inspirational welcome remarks. Let me also acknowledge our online viewers and online participants, because I'm reliably informed that we have also online viewers also join us, and so you are duly acknowledged. Thank you very much for making time to join us for this very important launch. May I also acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minority Leader, Osahinin Alexander Kwamina Afenyomakin. Sir, you are very much welcome, sir. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Chief Whip, Majority Chief Whip. I think he just stepped out, but he was here. Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafiamakbo, and Member of Parliament for South Day. I also have with me the Second Deputy Majority Whip and Member of Parliament for Bia East, Honorable Richard Echampong. He's also here with us. Thank you very much for joining. I can also see the Deputy Clerk, LMS, Mr. Camilo Porman. Sir, you are also welcome. And again, Dr. Mrs. Gloria Sako Kumeu, Deputy Clerk, IMS. You are all duly acknowledged and welcome. And of course, my acknowledgement will not end without the acknowledgement of former Director of the External Support Office of Parliament, Mr. Prosper Hotu, whose handiworks we are seeing this morning, and say you are very much welcome. And thank you very much again also for joining us. Without much ado, may I respectfully invite the Chargé d'Affaires, British High Commission for the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, His Excellency Keith McMahon, to give us his remarks. A round of applause for him, please.
Morning, everyone. The Speaker of Parliament, Deputy Speakers of Parliament, Leadership of Parliament, Members of Parliament, Acting Division Director of the World Bank, Clerk to Parliament, Deputy Clerks of Parliament, and other staff of the Parliamentary Service. Now, I will continue on and say, I'm looking around the room and I see some very august personalities. So I'm going to use my favourite 3 words in any Ghanaian speech or conversation. All protocols observed. No one can be offended now. Well, not until you've heard my speech, at least. I'm extremely proud to be launching this programme of UK-funded technical support to Ghana's Parliament. We want to support Parliament to deliver its ambition to drive growth and prosperity for all Ghanaians through technical partnership on economics and public finance. I'd like to especially thank the Honourable Speaker for his strong endorsement of the project, as well as the Honourable Clerk and Deputy Clerk, who have warmly and constructively engaged with our team throughout the design process. I'd also like to thank the majority and minority leaders, as well as the leads of key economic and finance committees, with whom we look forward to deepening our collaboration to design a project that meets your needs. Finally, I'd like to thank our delivery partner, the World Bank, as well as the African Centre for Parliamentary Affairs. Both have played and will continue to play a critical role in the project's design and implementation. Ghana should be proud of the strength and quality of so many of its public institutions, as well as its deep-rooted democratic processes, which were displayed so impressively in the December elections. The UK firmly believes that only Ghanaians and their elected representatives can drive Ghana. We want to support both the public and Parliament to deliver the best economic outcomes for the country through this new partnership. We can only do this by listening to parliamentarians and that they are the ultimate drivers for the direction of this project. We are delighted that this support will assist Parliament's leaders with implementing their ambitious new strategic plan, as well as the new standing orders which were historically agreed in 2024. We have been hugely impressed by all of the parliamentary staff and parliamentarians whom we have engaged, and we look forward to collaborating with key committees in the coming months to design a programme tailored to Parliament's specific needs. As highlighted in March's National Economic Dialogue, effective oversight of public finance is critical for prosperity, especially as Ghana's economy continues to stabilise and rebound. We hope that this programme will directly contribute a key recommendation from the National Dialogue, enhancing Parliament's ability to drive accountability and curb corruption. We also believe that this programme will complement our long-term partnership with Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance on revenue mobilisation, ensuring that every additional CD collected delivers value for money to the taxpayer. The UK is proud to have a breadth of established peer-to-peer partnerships with Ghana. These include partnerships between His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, the National Audit Office, the Office of National Statistics, the Bank of England, and all their Ghanaian counterparts. Such institutions play a key role supporting Parliament by providing it with the data and evidence needed to design and deliver effective policy and encourage public debate. Indeed, the Office of National Statistics were delighted to recently host the senior leadership of Parliament and the Ghana Statistical Service at their UK offices to share insights and discuss the harnessing of data and analytics to inform policy decisions for overall national development. We will continue to explore how to deepen and expand these technical partnerships to support the work of Ghana's elected representatives. Ghana has enormous economic potential. And we are excited by the opportunity to partner with such an ambitious, capable group of elected representatives to deepen the long-standing partnership between our countries and deliver mutual prosperity. I'd like to finish by just kind of running on from the words that the clerk said earlier, that parliamentarians, the executive, we are responsible to our citizens. I think that this programme is an important part of that, and I hope that everyone, both Ghanaians and the UK side, will strongly support this, the programme and its implementation, to ensure that we can deliver the best for Ghana and its citizens. Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you very much, Chargé d'Affaires, British High Commission, FCDO, Your Excellency Keith McMahon. Thank you very much for those remarks. Once again, you have just joined us. It is the launch of the Building the Capacity of Parliamentarians for Economic and Financial Governance project, a partnership initiative between the Parliament of Ghana, the UK government, and also the World Bank. And we just had remarks from the FCDO. Respectfully, I will move straight again to the remarks by the Acting Division Director, World Bank, Ms. Michelle Kian. A round of applause for her, please.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingford Bagan, Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, the Honourable Mahama Ayariga, Majority Leader, Honourable Alexander Afenyo Markin, Minority Leader, Mr. Ebenezer Ahuma Djetor, Clerk of Parliament, Chairpersons of the committees present here today, Honourable Members of Parliament, His Excellency Keith McMahon, Chargé d'Affaires of the British High Commission to Ghana, colleagues of the British High Commission, FCDO, and the World Bank, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols having been observed. As we all know, parliaments are the beating heart of all democracies, and it is a great honor for me to express the World Bank's support today for this significant initiative aimed at strengthening the capacity of Parliament for economic and financial governance in Ghana. This program, generously supported by the United Kingdom, represents a pivotal opportunity to enhance the effectiveness and accountability of Ghana's legislative body. I want to recall some recent initiatives to strengthen this legislative body which have been encouraging. The Visitor Center, which was upgraded and opened last year, sends a clear signal to citizens that the Parliament is open, values transparency, and is ready to serve its people. The establishment of the Parliament's Citizens Bureau is also commendable and a step towards fostering greater citizens' engagement with Parliament. And I'm very happy to know that this online broadcast is also being viewed by many citizens. More significantly, Parliament has undertaken a historic revision of its standing orders, the first in 23 years. And this revision will further strengthen the capacity of Parliament to enforce fiscal rules, enhance accountability, and ensure that Ghana's growth is inclusive and sustainable. The establishment of new committees and the restructuring of existing ones, particularly those focusing on economic development and public financial management, are a testament to Parliament's commitment to improving governance and transparency. This also presents an opportunity for development partners to provide support, which is why the United Kingdom and the World Bank are here today, with the objective to deliver results for the people of Ghana. The World Bank is proud to be a partner in this transformative journey. Technically and financially, we have always been dedicated to supporting economic governance and have a long history of supporting parliamentary strengthening, including in Ghana, As early as the late 1990s, the World Bank Institute provided support to enhance the capacity of the public accounts and finance committees and enhance interaction of the Parliament with the executive and civil society. This initiative was assessed in 2004, and MPs expressed that this support enhanced their critical skills and the quality of their deliberations. With even more ambition, the project we are launching today will provide materials and knowledge on economics, public financial management, tax policy, and development issues to enable informed decisions on macro-fiscal policy and on pathways to achieve Ghana's sustainable development goals. The program will also support capacity building in leadership, public inquiry, and external engagement, which are all crucial for effective governance. In conclusion, the World Bank is delighted to collaborate with Ghana's legislature as it plays its profound and indispensable role in economic development. Let me emphasize how deeply grateful we are to the FCDO for their partnership and their generosity in financing this project, and most importantly, to the Right Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Members of Parliament, and the Parliamentary Service for their trust and their welcome of our collaboration. Through this work, we look forward to contributing to robust, accountable, and transparent governance in support of growth, development, and concrete results for all Ghanaians. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Michelle Kane. We are grateful for your remarks. On this note, before I move to the next agenda, may I again humbly acknowledge the presence of Honorable George Kweku Rekit-Hagan, Deputy Majority Leader and Member of Parliament for Cape Coast South. Sir, we are very grateful for joining us. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Patricia Appiah-Jay, Deputy Minority Leader and Member of Parliament for Asokwa. Thank you, Ma, for joining us. Again, Honorable Habib Idrisu, First Deputy Minority Whip, Member of Parliament for Tolon. And the last but not the least, Honorable Jari Ahmed Shaib, Second Deputy Minority Whip and also Member of Parliament for Weja Bawe. All right, thank you very much for coming. At this point, I want to move ahead and also invite the remarks of the chairperson of the World Bank Group and IMF Parliamentary Network, Honorable Kweku Kwateng, and also Member of Parliament for Kukufu. A round of applause for him, please. Sorry? Obuasi East. As I wear my mouth. Obuasi East, as I wear my mouth. Yes, in the regimental style, as I wear my mouth. Obuasi East. West, all right, Obuasi West. Yes, I stand corrected. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Actually, I'm from Kukufu, so when she mentioned Kukufu, I was wondering. Mr. Speaker, our parliamentary leaders and our clerk for today, Lawyer Jetro, our development partners, distinguished guests, colleagues. The Parliamentary Network Ghana is a network of MPs that seek to promote transparency and accountability in the workings of our development partners in our country. It's a global organization in about 140 member countries. So today is definitely a good day for us, given what we stand for, to see an initiative to improve the capacity of parliamentarians could not give us a better feeling. You know, we often say Parliament oversights the executive, but really you cannot oversight what you don't clearly understand. The executive has all the technical people, they can hire the consultants, and we are here. We are elected into Parliament because our people love us. We may not have the capacity to oversight these guys who actually manage the resources of our country. So this initiative is really welcome. I just make one request before I sit down. This initiative is by our development partners, Mr. Speaker, our colleagues. It is my hope that the lessons that will be learned from the rollout of this initiative would be pursued with our own money. Oftentimes, the problem with some of these initiatives is that after the first phase, when the funding is no more coming, because the funding obviously is part of our development partners' assistance program that may not last forever. So if we love this and we want to increase the capacity of our members of parliament, then we should see this as the foundation and set aside money to improve the capacity of the legislature so we can oversight the executives more well, save money for the country, and facilitate the development we want for our people. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kweku Kwarteng, Member of Parliament for Obuasi West Constituency. Thank you. At this juncture, may I invite all right. I have the pleasure of inviting the Honorable Minority Leader, Osahin Alexander Kwamina Afenyomaking, to give us his remarks. A round of applause for him, sir.
So you can say, MC, so you can say Honorable Kweku Kwarteng of Kukufu and MP for Obuasi West. You are still right. Don't worry about that. So I'm Afenyomaking of Efutu, but also of Chiame. Right Honorable Speaker Alban Sumana Kingsford Baldwin, Deputy Speakers, the Majority Leader, colleagues in leadership, Clerk to Parliament, colleague members of Parliament, representative of the World Bank Group and the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, bonjour. I am honored to be part of this morning's official launch of the Building the Capacity of Parliamentarians for Economic and Financial Governance project. On behalf of the Minority Caucus in Parliament, I wish to express profound appreciation to the Right Honorable Speaker for his unwavering commitment to strengthening institutional capacity within Parliament and for lending his full support to this important initiative. I also extend gratitude to the leadership of Parliament and our valued development partners, the World Bank Group and the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, for their continued investment in democratic governance and institutional development through various technical and financial support. We appreciate this opportunity to work together in strengthening Parliament's role in building the nation's economy. This project is timely because it comes at a critical moment when economies around the world, including ours, must navigate increasingly complex financial ecosystems. Day in, and day out, citizens are demanding transparent and prudent leadership, fiscal discipline, result-driven governance, and real value for every taxpayer's money spent. As such, there is a need to sharpen and strengthen the oversight capacity of members of parliament in the vital areas of finance and economic governance to make such oversight more effective. This project speaks directly to the responsible governance our times demand and will equip us as parliamentarians with the knowledge and tools to rise to that expectation. Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, in every democracy, protection of the public purse is both constitutional mandate and a moral obligation. The decisions we make in Parliament have far-reaching consequences for economic development and in shaping public trust in our democratic institutions. As the people's representatives, our mandate includes rigorous oversight of public finances. Therefore, we must commit ourselves to becoming effective and credible fiscal stewards. Citizens should trust that when we speak about the economy, it is not with partisan reflex, but with principled clarity and a deep appreciation and understanding of the real issues. Without continuous development of our understanding of the critical aspects of economic governance, we, especially the minority, cannot hold the government accountable and offer the informed perspectives and critiques that are expected of us. The economic context in which we operate today demands more from Parliament than ever before. It is not enough to merely understand parliamentary procedure and legislative processes. Important as they are, procedure alone cannot substitute for informed knowledge. Rather, they are tools, frameworks that help us engage more effectively with the real issues. Without a solid grasp of the substantive matters in finance and economic governance, procedure alone becomes hollow in contributing meaningfully to the economic stability of our country. Greater analytical depth is required to examine sectorial allocations, benchmark outcomes, and evaluate whether public investment is effectively translating into economic growth and human development. Beyond the formal approval of appropriation bills, it is essential that we deepen our engagement in the implementation, monitoring, and post-expenditure phases. Emphasis, post-expenditure phases. Interventions such as this project will deepen members' technical understanding of fiscal discipline, budget allocation efficiency, and public expenditure accountability. It will equip us with practical tools to interpret economic data, engage policy frameworks, and provide proper oversight, not just in form, but in substance. Parliament has over the years demonstrated greater engagement in budgetary and financial oversight. Through the work of committees such as Public Account Committee, which is of course chaired by the minority, the Finance Committee, the Economy and Development Committee, and the Budget Committee, this House has consistently challenged irregularities, demanded the enforcement of audit recommendations, and contributed meaningfully to key financial and economic reforms. Initiatives such as the post-budget workshop have also helped to deepen members' understanding of complex fiscal matters relating to budget statements, thereby improving the quality of debate and scrutiny. This new project, therefore, does not emerge in vacuum. It builds on these important strides and seeks to further enhance the technical competence and readiness of parliamentarians to deliver on their oversight mandate with even greater impact. Indeed, when parliamentarians are well equipped to analyze budgets, the results speak for themselves. In Ghana's own context of public debt reduction and fiscal reform, said capacity is sorely needed. For instance, analysts of our 2025 budget stress that strict fiscal discipline must go hand in hand with strategic investment. They warn that only a combination of strong fiscal discipline, prudent debt management, and vibrant domestic bond market can restore confidence and ensure efficient use of public finances. By mastering these issues, we will be better able to guide budget policy and hold executive to account to it. In practical terms, this means equipping committee members and research staff with the skills to examine economic policy, ask informed questions, and verify that funds are used as intended. If MPs understand the numbers and the policy context, our debates and decisions will have greater impact. We in the minority will fully support this project. Building capacity is a long-term process. It requires time, and we are committed to sustaining our learning beyond today's launch. I encourage colleagues to fully participate in trainings and workshops under this project. Every member of this House stands to gain from better knowledge and training, and we must all embrace the attitude that Parliament effectiveness is a shared priority that transcends partisan lines. In closing, Mr. Speaker, let me once again thank you, my colleagues in leadership, the World Bank Group, the UK FCDO, and all colleagues for committing to this project. Not the least, our parliamentary service staff headed by the hard-working clerk to Parliament, Mr. Ebenezer Homajetro. By enhancing MPs' knowledge of resource mobilization, budget discipline and accountability, we will improve legislative performance and ultimately increase public trust in government. The training we receive will help ensure that every Ghanaian cedi is allocated and spent with due diligence. I have no doubts that the outcome of this partnership will be positive for our nation, and I thank you so much for your kind audience.
Thank you very much. I believe we can do better for Honorable Minority Leader. Thank you for reassuring us that Parliament effectiveness is actually a shared responsibility that goes beyond mere partisan politics. Thank you very much, the Honorable Minority Leader. It is now time for us to receive another remarks, and this time around, those remarks will be made by the Honorable Majority Leader. But before he comes, may I crave your indulgence and also introduce to us and also acknowledge the presence of Honorable Isaac Adongo. He's here with us and is the chair of the Finance Committee and member of Parliament for Bulga Central. So thank you very much for coming. We also have Honorable Yusuf Jaja. All right. Okay, thank you very much, sir. May we now receive the Honorable Majority Leader, Mahama Ayariga.
The Right Honorable Speaker, he was there in the beginning, and he's still there. He was there when the Constitution was drafted, when it was promulgated, when its first parliament was inaugurated, and he's still there with its parliament. I don't want to say he's the alpha and omega of the Parliament of Ghana. I believe that with him we can never walk alone. Deputy Speaker present with us, my colleague, the minority leader, and deputy leaders who are present here, chairman of committees, and honorable colleagues, members of parliament, our distinguished guest from the Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office, the World Bank, Clerk of Parliament, and guests from the various development partners who work with us and civil society groups, distinguished friends of the media fraternity, staff of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I think all has been said, and if I'm going to read my speech, I'll virtually be repeating what those who spoke before me have said. I just want to draw attention to some critical constitutional provisions. Article 36(2) of our Constitution says that the state shall, in particular, take all necessary steps to establish a sound and healthy economy whose underlying principles shall include, and one of them in E is the recognition that the most secure democracy, and I want everybody to pay attention, the recognition that the most secure democracy is the one that assures the basic necessities of life for its people as a fundamental duty. If a democracy does not deliver the basic necessities of life to its people as a fundamental duty, that democracy, no matter how accountable, no matter how, what the rhetorics are, that democracy is not safe. So the delivery of basic necessities of life is the fundamental principle that should govern the work that we do, both in the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. As a parliament, our job is to oversee all the other agencies, all the other arms of government, to make sure that these basic necessities of life are actually delivered to our citizens, that they must live in dignity. They must have access to water, electricity, education, healthcare, housing, and be secure. Those are the basic necessities of life. How are we supposed to do this? The Right Honorable Speaker, after over 2 decades of practicing our democracy and using our standing orders and working through the institutional arrangements that we have, has reformed our committee systems to try as much as possible to make sure that we are effectively spread to cover every facet of the governance of this country. And so our rules provide us ample opportunities to deal with these matters. Article 103, Clause 3 of our Constitution says that committees of Parliament shall be charged with such functions, including the investigation and inquiry into the activities and administration of ministries and departments as Parliament may determine, and such investigation and inquiries may extend to proposals for legislation. Every MP knows this particular clause. We need to use the committee systems effectively to deliver on the basic necessities of life for our citizens. Right Honorable Speaker, something funny that I think I should relate to you and to this gathering. This last recess, I received a lot of requests from our various committee leadership for a lot of international travels to participate in the usual events that parliaments participate in. One of them was the World Bank Spring meetings. So many requests to participate in the World Bank Spring meeting. They are very, very important platforms. They provide a lot of opportunity for learning, for exposure to best practices, and etc. And so they are very useful. But this is a new parliament, and the committees had just been set up. So when committee chairman brought me their proposals to participate in these events, I unfortunately rejected every proposal. And I told the committee leaders that the first thing I want to see is that you have gone around the country and you have a clear understanding of what is happening in your sector, so that next year when you go to the World Bank Spring meetings, you know what to tell them. As at now, I'm not sure if you go there, you will actually represent us, because I haven't seen you go around all your institutions. So go and bring me a proposal to go around the country and visit your sector and agencies and institutions. And that one I'll gladly approve for you. The same money that you are going to use to go for these international meetings, use it to visit all the institutions in this country. And everybody brought me a proposal, and we approved. And if you monitored the media, you will see that during the recess, almost every committee chairperson was visiting every agency under them, engaging them, trying to understand exactly what their agencies are doing, what the challenges are. I recall the health committee visited so many hospitals across the country, to the extent that some media houses were so impressed that they organized a forum for them. Let's clap for them. You know, the education committee visited so many schools across the country. They haven't finished. They will continue the visitations. And even as we resumed, many more committees are still visiting their agencies and institutions, engaging them, trying to understand exactly what it is that they are supposed to assist them to address, what bottlenecks they are confronted with, and how, as a parliament, we can work with them to address their challenges. The next stage, and we've had discussions with the Speaker, we've had discussions with the Clerk, we've even had discussions with the Center for Parliamentary Affairs, ASEPA. The next stage is that we want the committees to have public hearings. The culture of public hearings in this parliament was spearheaded by the Public Accounts Committee, which is really a finance tool, financial accountability tool. And it's become very, very popular. It was joined by the Government Assurances Committee, which has also become very, very popular. But the substantive issues of healthcare, education delivery, housing delivery, roads infrastructure, and etc., energy, access to electricity, and all those things, are matters that are handled by very important committees like Health Committee, Education Committee, and etc. These committees have sometimes 20, 15, some of them have 30 institutions and agencies, directly under them. And they all present reports to Parliament. Every one of them presents an annual report to Parliament. So the next stage is that we want these substantive committees, not the finance committees, not public accounts and etc., that are dealing with accountability for the use of the money, but the ones responsible for actually delivering on the basic necessities of life. We want these committees to take the reports of all the agencies that operate under their supervision and hold public hearings and hold the heads of those agencies accountable for the substantive delivery of these commodities: education, healthcare, housing, roads, electricity. Because I believe that if we start holding them accountable, the way that I see Public Accounts Committee holding the directors of finance of our various institutions accountable on television, I believe the Director General of Ghana Health Service, or the Director General of Ghana Education Service, or the Director General of Ports and Harbors, and all those other agencies under you will set up and start delivering on their various responsibilities. Otherwise, every year, they will be on national television, and you will be quizzing them why performance is abysmal, and everybody in Ghana will see that performance in those agencies are actually abysmal. And I think that is how we can improve delivery of basic necessities of life to our citizens and to make them really value the democracy that they have been queuing for years to vote for. So I thank the World Bank, I thank the British government for this investment, except to say that the focus is so much on financial accountability and financial governance and economic governance. I would want to see an equal or at least reasonable allocation of the resource to the committees that also deliver on the various necessities of life. We're not asking for much. Some of the items that you capture as the deliverables, like the training programs, leadership, how to conduct inquiries, and etc., and also supporting the Right Honourable Speaker to have our own independent media house, television, because you see, sunlight is the best disinfectant. We don't have an army to compel people to do what we want. But the more we expose them on national television, I believe the more heads of agencies will sit up and perform their tasks as expected of them. And so we count on the Speaker's small budget to get GTV to cover public accounts. The bills that are brought to us sometimes not easy to manage. So if we got support to have our own television station, and we have a channel, and we are airing, and all the committees can be captured live in terms of the public hearings and their sittings, it will go a long way to ensure that we are able to hold institutions of governance accountable in this country. I think that people would like to perform so that in the ensuing years, when they appear before us, they will not be asked very embarrassing questions about their abysmal performance. On that note, let me thank our development partners for this initiative. We definitely will support it. One thing that the Speaker has also done, which I think I should mention, is by way of building the capacity of the various committees. This country has research institutes for almost every sector. We have a Building and Roads Research Institute, we have a Cocoa Research Institute, we have a Food Research Institute, we have a research institute into everything, crops, everything that you can imagine, there's a research institute. And I know this because I used to be Minister for Science. So the CSIR has research institutes. The other agencies also have research institutes. Now, Speaker has put in place an arrangement where every research institute has a corresponding committee in Parliament that they work up to. Because the research institutes have all the information. They have the data, they have the most recent research findings in relation to your sector. If the roads committee is going out to inspect road projects, the Building and Roads Research Institute will be able to tell you if a road is being constructed here, these should be the technologies that should be used. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of resources. If you're going to go and inspect the road, these are the mechanisms for ensuring that you are able to actually tell whether the job is being done well or not. If a budget allocation is being made for a certain sector, your scientists will be able to tell you, and the research institute will be able to tell you that the resource is going to either be wasted or more efficiently used because of the technology that is going to be used in implementing such a program. Speaker will be launching this very soon. There's a scheduled workshop for the research institutes and the chairman of the various committees to train them, to prepare them, so that we can begin to work closely with our research institutes as our thinking, cap as a committee, so that we are backed with very strong scientific and technological research as we go out into the field. So let me, on this occasion also commend the Speaker for such innovation and the efforts that he is putting into building Parliament as a very strong institution of governance. I thank you very much, and I wish you well.
We are grateful to you, the Honorable Majority Leader, Mahama Ayariga. Thank you very much. Before we get to the climax address and also the official launch of this initiative, may I humbly announce that this morning the registration team actually distributed a questionnaire on the financial management capacity assessment to members of Parliament. Respectfully, if you collected one, endeavor to hand this over to us immediately you complete the form. If for any reason you also did not receive one, we could quickly get you one so you can fill for us. It is for the purpose of assessing the capacity of the public financial management. Thank you very much for your attention. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a number of remarks, very, very important remarks to this very important event, which has to do with the official launch of the building the capacity of parliamentarians for economic and financial governance. At this juncture, help me welcome the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford-Bagwin as he addresses us and again officially launch this project. A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you so much, Director, Public Engagement. Sometimes when you talk about my years here, even though I get so humbled, but others interpret it to mean I'm the oldest MP in Parliament. But that is not the case. It's the age in Parliament, not my true age. There are so many of my colleagues here who are older than me. And this was emphasized by the majority leader. And so I'm compelled to let Ghanaians know that I'm not that old. Let me acknowledge the presence of all of you and stand by the existing protocol as already laid out, but acknowledge the presence of the Parliamentary Press Corps and other media partners. I deal a lot with eye contact. And so I can identify those who are here and those who are not here. But one thing I want to comment on is our attitude. When we decide to continue with this attitude, we will never see the good in ourselves. Even when such an exciting, important project is being launched, people are seated here as if they are at a cemetery. You cannot see excitement, you cannot see joy, you cannot see any sign. And even when their leaders are leading them by clapping and applauding all what our partners are doing, there you are, as if you are at a funeral ground. It can't help us. Don't forget that the development partners are not only in Ghana. They are in other countries. Please, show love, show love. Please, show appreciation. I want to welcome all of you, and as we say, Akwaba, marhaba, ojeko, yawayan. It's important for me to repeat some of what has been said, just for emphasis. If not, there is no need for me to present this keynote address, because all what you are expected to hear has already been articulated by the earlier speakers. But it is with a huge responsibility that I stand here today to mark the official launch of another phase of a renewed relationship between the Parliament of Ghana and the World Bank in partnership with the United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office. One of the things that we are losing out because of our attitude is the fact that we are failing to see as a country that the 8th Parliament have ushered in the developmental stage of our democracy. Others have seen it. And what has led to this project is what the 8th Parliament has achieved. Yet the 8th Parliament is being condemned by Ghanaians as one of the wasted periods. You can ask our development partners the foundation stone of this project. This initiative, as I go through it, what I just mentioned, you get it. This initiative, summarized in a theme, building the capacity of parliamentarians for economic and financial governance, is born with an initial amount of $1,600,000 United States dollars, sourced from the World Bank and the United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office. Today's ceremony launches the initiative, a new chapter of strengthening the collaboration between Ghana's Parliament, the World Bank, and the United Kingdom Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office. This event comes after lots of strategic discussions, planning, and collaboration of partners who share a common goal to see Ghana's Parliament achieve its vision of becoming a model in Africa. The World Bank and the UK FCDO support is for an initial estimated 18 months period. And so the issue of sustainability that has been raised is very important. And the issue of our commitment and how we take this opportunity to create and succeed in establishing the objectives that this project is meant to achieve. Parliament, as we've often been told, is the anchor of democratic governance. Since the beginning of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, Parliament has been the principal forum where people's voices find legitimate expression, where governments are scrutinized, laws processed and passed, and grievances resolved. In fact, the first instance of public hearing was from the Appointments Committee. The Public Accounts Committee came later on. And if you recall, I chaired the Public Accounts Committee for 4 good years. And I took the decision that it was better for us to move away from politicization of the work of the Public Accounts Committee to professionalism, and decided to hand over my chairmanship to a professional accountant in the person of Honorable Salas Mensah. And this is what led to the next chair of the Public Accounts Committee being Honorable Kandapa. And from there, they were able to marshal the support of our development partners to focus on support of the Public Accounts Committee. If not, it was used as a tool of the party in opposition undoing the party in government. That was the focus, not on management, not on economic, not on other matters, but on politics. And so that was another strategic decision I took at that time in 2005. Parliament, as we all know, and I want to emphasize this, is a protector of human rights and freedoms of the people. And this is the forum where societal norms and values are shaped. So when things are happening outside, if we go through our constitutional framework, it's for us, parliamentarians and the institution of parliament, to stand up to defend and protect the human rights of our people. And that is why in the standing orders itself, you have clearly stated that the leader of the institution, the speaker, is responsible for protection of these human rights, not only of Ghanaians, but of the members of parliament. And that is why in practice, if the speaker directs the marshal to take the mace to any government institution and to inform them that the speaker has asked me to come and ask why this person has been detained, that institution will have to respond immediately. And if the directive is for the marshal to put the mace there, that authority of parliament is sufficient for all the institutions of state to respond by releasing the person from detention. That is what democracy stands for. And that is the power of your mace. And that is why when you are on the floor, you see me saying, don't stand with your back to the mace. It doesn't show respect. It's so powerful, and please, let's honor it. But over time, with all the initial challenges we had from the time that the majority leader recounted, Ghana's parliament has grown bigger and better. However, as the global and national economic landscapes have become increasingly complex and uncertain, with the frequent surprises, the boost and the best, so are the demands on legislative institutions, including that of Ghana. The challenges of the global financial sector places issues of financial management, debt sustainability, prudent use of resources, and overall economic supervision at the center of democratic governance. We are in Ghana facing these challenges partly because of the weakness of the institution of parliament. Because if we don't approve, nobody will borrow and nobody will spend. So if there's a debt overhang, it's because Parliament approved that Ghana should go into that deep hole. These are not only demanding in nature, what I referred to, but also require a deep understanding, a mix of skill sets and competences to manage the situation. The governance institution in Ghana's legal framework to superintend and ensure that things work in the interest of the people is Parliament. As much as we strengthen civil society, in spite of their critical voices, particularly the media that is scrutinizing everything, the only instrument that can hold a powerful executive, and the executive in Ghana is the president, and the government in Ghana is the president. The only instrument that can hold him to account to the people is Parliament, legitimately granted by the Constitution. No other person or group of people can do it. And so if we fail in our duty to hold the various governments and presidents to account, and has plunged the country into this state of affairs, we have ourselves to blame and nobody else. Conscious of this responsibility, Parliament is doing everything possible to rise up to the challenge. As a result of the above concerns, and partly due to weak enforcement of fiscal rules, poor accountability, and the realization that Ghana's growth has not been inclusive or sustainable, in 2024, under my leadership, Parliament revised its standing orders for the first time in 23 years to establish 12 new committees and to open offices to improve accountability and transparency in economic governance. Parliament must, as a matter of necessity, follow up on this transformative review to build its capacity to examine economic policies, scrutinize budgets, and ensure the proper functioning of accountability mechanisms to ensure prudent utilization of public funds. The World Bank, with its global expertise in governance reforms, and the United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office, renowned for its commitment to strengthening democratic institutions, have both acknowledged this new opportunity to improve accountability and transparency in economic governance. And this is what has led to this new and renewed partnership. The project is meant to equip, in fact, well-equip Parliament and its members and staff, particularly a number of committees, to be able to live up to expectation. The team building the capacity of parliamentarians for economic and financial governance very well captures the idea of this initiative. A project which identifies a number of economic and governance committees, such as the Economy and Development Committee, the Ways and Means Committee, the Budget Committee, which is meant to follow through the process of budgeting, not to wait for it to be brought at the 11th hour and for Parliament to stamp it without going through the setting of the priorities and the allocation of the resources, particularly under our legal framework, where most of what is given is just for the information of the House, except the development budget, where we have some leeway to look at. But even that one we are only expected to reduce. We cannot increase. That is why there's a critical need for a dedicated committee to police the process from the beginning, and as representatives of the people, to lead government to set the priorities right in the annual budgets. And if possible, increase it, not to annual, but to midterm, maybe 3 years. So you don't have to be spending very, very important time every year going through just a budget for the year. So this committee, the budget committee, is one of the committees that this project is going to focus on. Definitely, the Public Accounts Committee is so essential that it cannot be left out. And we're also going to add the public administration and state interests for support. The support will also be extended to some of the new offices that we've created. And one is the Citizens Bureau. And also the newly created Office for Parliamentary Analysis. And you know that the laws that we pass have stated clearly that before any bill is taken by the House, it must be accompanied by a fiscal impact analysis report. Are we going to depend on the executive to do that? No. We have to have the men and women to do it in-house and to support us. So there's that new office established by Parliament. We also have looked at the issue of leakages, particularly corruption. And we have established a department here, anti-corruption unit. And we have networked with the key accountability institutions in the country to make sure that the fight against corruption, the term we use in the Constitution to combat corruption, becomes a reality, led by the institution of Parliament. And that is why we have instituted this new award, the National Integrity Award Scheme. This project goes beyond what I have just stated. It goes beyond the training of members and staff of committees to the whole more important issue of economic governance and financial management. And the support will be extended to the Fiscal Council, which is important for our nation. That must be able to hold government to go by its law. And if I mention some of them to you, they will say that the Speaker has once again opened the Pandora box. But sometimes I sit, listen to you people, and I don't know whether you are vigilant. There are some things that should not happen in a democratic country. But they are happening, and I'm not hearing any objections to them, which meant that you are giving approval to what is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition, this initiative seeks to enable Parliament to put in place systems of change management, to enable it exercise its constitutional responsibilities, some of which your leaders have highlighted. We need to translate the dividends of democracy into real, tangible benefits for the people. That is the only time they will agree with you. That multi-party democracy is the best form of governance that has been developed so far. As at now, truly it's not because they love you, that they voted for you to represent them. It's because they have some modicum of trust in you that among the rest who contested, at least you stand tall and you will be a better protector and enhancer of their rights. That you can add some quality to their lives. And so don't take that for granted. That trust, don't take it for granted. I didn't. And that's why I'm healthy and I'm not dying early. I don't know why people are against people who are healthy. Because if you are not good, you cannot remain in office for long. To be frank. And if you are not healthy, you cannot stay long, but to die early. Even though I know that in normal human life, when you are not dying early too, the young ones who want you to die. If you are not dying, they will kill you. And so we want to enhance our ability to exercise our constitutional responsibilities, particularly in relation to legislation. And as I've drawn your attention often to the fact that many of the laws we passed, we even forgot of Parliament itself. And so when you are trying to implement the laws, you find challenges in applying them to the parliamentary environment. And we have to start looking at those areas. Look at the oversight. It's not the usual type of oversight where you meet and listen to the executive and they come and bamboozle you with data and other things that you don't know of. We are putting measures in place, as the majority has told you, to make sure that before they come, you are better prepared than them. That's the only way you can hold them to kneel before you. They will kneel before you. And we'll make sure that Parliament is more attractive than the executive. So you will be struggling to catch the eye of the Speaker, not the eye of the President. Our development partners can only support us, but we have to sustain that support. And I want to assure them we are taking this matter up and we are going to, from now on, be budgeting to take up the responsibility that we have bestowed on you. So, members, we approve the budget. It's not imposed on us. And we know without Parliament, there will be no democracy and no development. So please, the issue of budgeting is key. And we must make sure that we appropriate enough for us to deliver the goods. Because all the blame is heaped on you when you go to your constituency. The roads are not good, is the MP. They are not getting good water to drink, is the MP. Educational system collapsing, is the MP. The health sector is the MP. Yet you give the resources to the executive and you go to sleep. This will be a thing of the past. We all know the world is experiencing an economic transformation at a very fast rate. Particularly recently, things are changing too fast. And this demands Parliament to really stand up to the challenge. We need to ensure rigorous scrutiny, sound economic management, and strong representation. We need to be counted, and luckily we have been counted, among the leaders in parliamentary diplomacy. What many of you did not know of the incident of the 7th of January 2021, the catalytic effect of that incident. was to catapult Ghana's democracy into the limelight. It caught the attention of the world. But the world did not focus on the negatives. They rather focused on the positive. How come a minority member was elected to be a Speaker of Parliament? Not many countries have experienced that. It's just not possible, particularly as one of the assumptions of our Constitution is that we are going to have majoritarian systems. The President will always have majority in Parliament. How come this time the President has majority in Parliament but lost the vote in Parliament? That was a case study for the world, particularly after the 4 years. We succeeded in organizing an election that was very successful. Our friends from UK will tell you how many times their coalition governments or minority governments have collapsed. And those of you who have some years, you recall the Third Republic in Ghana. That was a hung parliament. 2 years, it collapsed. Our colleagues in Australia will also tell you that that type of parliament doesn't succeed. But Ghana, 4 years, we succeeded. These are some of the things that we should be focusing on, not on the fact that one of us chewed a ballot paper. Or the military invaded the house. Or the fact that some of my colleagues from the other side who were in government decided to vote for me to be Speaker. We should be looking at the positive side, that those guys were not ultra-partisan. And I'm happy that at the end of the day, there was no vote again. It was unanimous. So I owe you people a lot, and I'll do everything to make sure that we succeed. So the 1.6 million support facility is not just a reflection of the trust of our international partners, the trust that they have in our institution, that is Parliament and its growth, but also a testament of their commitment to the democratic and economic development of our country, Ghana. I want to therefore call on all members of Parliament, the management and staff of the Parliamentary Service, particularly the Office of the Clerk to Parliament, on which this project will be anchored. That we should embrace this opportunity to build the capacity of each and every one of us and the institution itself to be able to build, deepen, and sustain democratic governance and translate its dividends equitably to the ordinary citizens of Ghana, leaving no one behind. With these few words, I wish also to extend my appreciation to the World Bank and the United Kingdom Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office for the support. And I can tell you, I'm in direct contact with the World Bank, not only the country office, but also the World Office in the US. We responded by establishing the External Support Unit here in Parliament, which is going to be the direct link between Parliament and our development partners. There are a lot of resources outside there looking for areas that will generate good dividends to invest. And so if we are able to position ourselves well, we will not only be dependent on the meager budget support from Ghana government, but our goodwill will get our partners to come to support us to build a better Ghana for all of us. That will turn the tide of the exodus of Ghanaians to the other friendly nations. And they know the challenges they face over there when people live here and struggle to go without any descent. They just want to survive there because they believe that that place is greener than Ghana. So please, we have put all these things in place, and this is not one of the usual launches we are going to do. We'll make sure we follow up and we get the benefits of the $1.6 million support. As the U.S. have stated clearly, in God we trust. And our elders told us that nothing can be done without the will of God. And so now, in the name of the Almighty God, I have the singular honor and privilege to declare the Public Financial Management for Service Delivery Project themed Building the Capacity of Parliamentarians for Economic and Financial Management duly launched. I thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker, for doing us the honors and launching this very important initiative that aims to strengthen our capacity when it comes to economic and financial governance here in Ghana. Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker. We are grateful for this launch. Thank you. The next on the list is the vote of thanks. And let me, on behalf of the Right Honorable Speaker, the Clerk to Parliament, leadership, members of Parliament, everyone gathered here, say a very big thank you for honoring our invitation and showing your presence for this particular launch. We are very grateful to you, especially when it comes to our external partners, for all their support over the years. And as I hear the Right Honorable Speaker give his remarks, he mentioned actually that there has been a number of strategic discussions that have gone on. And so we can't say less, but thank you very much for all the good thoughts you've had about this country and also your help in strengthening our democracy for the benefits of the citizens of this country. We are very grateful to you for that. Let me again thank all the leadership, every one of you, for honoring our invitation and joining us for this launch. Again, I can see our civil society partners. We are also saying a very big thank you to all of you for also joining us. And to all of you, our media, and everybody who has made it a point to witness this launch, what can we say? We'll say, Yadawase. Yadawase pa. God bless you for being part of this historic event. Without much ado, may I respectfully invite Honorable Professor Kingsley Nyako, a Member of Parliament for Kwadaso, who will help us with a closing prayer.
Please, let's pray. Almighty God, we are grateful to you for this important program and project, building the capacity of members of so that we'll be able to work effectively in economic and financial governance. We thank you. We are asking for the strength, the capacity to be able to do just that. What we ask in addition is to give us the heart to love our country the more, to appreciate our country the more. Because with this, then we can do the best for our country. Thank you for the answer prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Professor Kingsley Nyako. Respectfully, we have a group photograph. And let me also announce that right after the group photograph, we have made some sumptuous lunch for all of us. So please do find your way to the MP's lounge. We have ushers who will kindly direct you to the venue to have something to take before you please take the leave of us. Please, no, we have the photographs here, please. Yes, please. So please, Ketri, kindly assist us so that we have the photograph. Photographers, are we ready? So may I please ask? All right. Mr. Clark, may we please come here, please? Yeah, just here. Yes, please, down for the photograph, please. All right. So please, we would have the Right Honorable Speaker, the leadership, and also our partners also joining for the first photograph, please. We have the leadership and Mr. Speaker, together with the clerk and also our partners join for the first photograph. Please signal me when you are done. Thank you. May we please have members of parliament present also join? We'll go. All right. Yes, please come this way. Mr. Speaker, please, respectfully, we are not done. They are joining us for the photo, please.
Some of us can come to
Yes,
the back.
please. Yes, please. Prof.